echoes of the plantation bell. The humid air hung heavy over the Mississippi Delta, thick with the scent of honeysuckle and the ghosts of cotton fields. Mama Eula, her hands gnarled like the roots of an old oak, sat on the porch swing, fanning herself with a tattered church pamphlet. Young Isaiah, barely a man, sat at her feet, his brow furrowed. "Mama," he began, his voice hesitant. "Brother Eli preached about forgiveness again today, about how we gotta love them that hate us. But they whipped our granddaddies, Mama. They stole our children. How we supposed to love folks like that?" Eula sighed, a sound like the rustle of dry corn husks. "It ain't easy, child. It ain't natural. But sometimes survival ain't about what's natural. It's about what's necessary." Isaiah scoffed. "Necessary? How is it necessary to love the devil?" Eula looked out at the fields, the long rows stretching to the horizon like the scars on her own back. "Think about it, Isaiah. Back in slavery times, what choice did we have? They owned our bodies, our souls. They could break our spirits with a word, a look, but they couldn't touch what was inside. Our faith, our hope, that was ours. And sometimes holding on to that meant pretending. Pretending what, Mama? Pretending acceptance, pretending gratitude. They built the churches, Isaiah. They let us sing as long as the songs didn't sound like rebellion. They taught us their version of the Bible, a version that kept us in our place. And some of us started to believe it, started to see the Master's God as our Savior, even though that same God seemed to turn a blind eye to our suffering. Isaiah shifted uncomfortably. "That don't make sense, Mama. It's like Stockholm Syndrome, what they talk about in books." Eula chuckled, a dry, humorless sound. "Books, maybe, but it's more than that, Isaiah. It's survival. It's about finding a sliver of hope in a world designed to crush you. It's about taking what little they give you and making it your own. They gave us their God, but we infused it with the spirit of our ancestors, with the rhythm of our drums, with the longing for freedom. We turned their religion into our own refuge. But what about now, Mama? Slavery's over. We're free." Eula's gaze hardened. "Free? Are we truly free, Isaiah? We still live in their houses, work their land, beg for their scraps. Their power ain't in the whip anymore. It's in the dollar, in the law, in the way they look at us. And sometimes, the old ways, the old habits, they die hard. It's easier to sing their hymns than to write our own. It's easier to believe in a God who promises rewards in heaven than to fight for justice here on earth." Isaiah looked out at the fields, the setting sun painting the sky in hues of blood orange and bruised purple. He understood now. It wasn't about love. It was about survival. It was about the echoes of the plantation bell, still ringing in their ears, a constant reminder of the power they once held, and in many ways still held. He knew then, with a certainty that settled deep in his bones, that the fight for true freedom was far from over. It was a fight that had to be fought not just in the streets, but in the heart, in the soul, in the very way they worship.